Hi, everyone. This is Herman. Welcome. This is where I share information about blockchain technology for enterprise. Today, I want to talk about the enterprise perspective on blockchain as a technology. Remember when Bitcoin was invented? It was back in 2008 by a person or a group we don't know for sure called Satoshi Nakamoto. He created the public distributed ledger, also known as blockchain, for Bitcoin crypto transactions. And the ethos was decentralization, transparency, and being able to stay anonymous. But this technology also brought about immutability and auditability. There are a lot of buzzwords in here. Let me just give a little refresher or intro to what each of this term means in this context. Decentralization means there is no single authority. Data is not being owned by a big tech company like Google or Facebook. Data is being replicated throughout other nodes in the blockchain network. Like this year, as of 2022, there are more than 10,000 nodes in the Bitcoin network. Next, we have transparency. What it means is that anybody, all the data basically is fully accessible by anyone who chooses to participate. You can easily set up a virtual machine in the cloud and install Bitcoin Core, and then you're able to download a full copy of the chain data. And you can try to ask to get data from Google. It's not so easy, right? And then the next is immutability. With immutability, it is actually built within the blockchain itself as a technology. Data cannot be changed. Once a new block is created or mined, it is on the chain forever, unless we are talking about something like 51% attack. And that would be another topic for another video. With immutability, it comes with auditability, because the data cannot be changed and it has a full history. It is easily auditable. You would be able to trace all the transactions that happened before. Last but not least is being able to stay anonymous. When you participate in a blockchain, you are not associating your personal identity with the chain data. Instead, everything is done through a wallet. Of course, now with Coinbase and other exchanges, they require you to do KYC, which basically means proof of self-identification. But the chain itself, from a technology standpoint, you're always be transacting through a wallet. And you can have multiple wallets, and the wallet stays anonymous, and you can easily create a wallet like this. So we kind of cover a number of advantages the public blockchain brought about as a technology. What is the enterprise perspective on this? After this technology came out and Bitcoin and Ethereum became popular, a lot of big companies became interested in this technology, wanting to know, what kind of business scenarios it fits into. There are a few advantages like, what I mentioned that it brought on, but also a public blockchain might not fit for enterprise use. And we'll visit that. The first one is ungoverned decentralization. The corporate data, the business data cannot just be open to anyone. They're business sensitive. It might contain pricing information, shipping information, quantity, and all those important information that the business needs to keep away from privy eyes. So it cannot be exposed to anyone who signs up to the network, which is how the public blockchain is run, which is why it is also known as permissionless blockchain. You don't need anybody's permission to join the network. You just, like I said, set up a VM, install Core, Bitcoin Core, or in the Ethereum world is a different client, and then you just join the network. You don't need anyone's permission to do that. But for enterprise, they want to set up a private blockchain only be participated by several eligible parties. And they want to be able to control the enrollment through MSP, which is membership service providers. Next is about full transparency of the ledger. Ledger here means, all the data, right? In the past and also the, current data. Even within the private blockchain, there are entities which are competitors among themselves. Think of a multiple supplier and buyer scenario. There are transactions where, company A and company B, when they, have that transaction, they want to stay private from other company C, D, and F, in the network from knowing, this is just a transaction between themselves. So even within a private blockchain network, we want to set up channels among selected nodes as private communication pathway between two or more members, but not exposed to everyone on the network. And last but not least, there's also gas fee. Companies just don't want to pay gas fees where they're adding records to their own blockchain, which is, pretty easy to understand. Despite these three concerns, blockchain provides immutability and auditability for some other scenarios that they are trying to tackle. So, we have briefly talked about the technology, what it brings about. What I want to is end this video with a recent business case of how big companies are using blockchain technology to improve food safety. So according to a survey, every year, 1 in 10 people become sick because of contaminated food. And it takes weeks to identify the source of contamination. For example, there was a recent case of salmonella in papayas, and it took more than 2 months to nail down where it came from. Blockchain, in this case, is ideally built to address this kind of challenge. When we have a chain for farmers, growers, suppliers, processors and distributor with grocery stores as well. And of course, it needs to be permissioned. Not everybody can just sign up to the network, which will create another type of safety concern. The existence of and sharing of this data among eligible parties will speed up the process to identify where this batch of bad food products come from and where else they might be right now for removal from the shelves much quicker. Currently, we are identifying them too late, took too much time. And it's a little bit of a gunshot approach as well. We might have removed good products off the shelves at the same time. So Dole, Driscoll, GSF, Kroger, Walmart, this kind of, food companies are now coming together to form a consortium to further utilize blockchain for the food sector. The goal is to improve the global food traceability. So today we discussed a little bit about the elements of blockchain technology and what elements that the enterprise likes about and what they're trying to get away from. I hope this is useful information. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.